It's been many years since Prince Harry joined his relatives for a traditional royal Christmas. Rocky relationships with members of the firm mean for the last 5 years, H has spent the festive season with wife Meghan Markle in North America, and this year was no different. However, Harry was previously a firm fixture at the royal Christmas celebrations, taking part in all of the traditions. The royals' incredibly privileged lives mean that they rarely want for anything. In fact, when it comes to Christmas, it is a well-known tradition that the royals actually buy small, cheap, joke presents for each other. But it seems Harry was left baffled one year by one gift he received from an unlikely royal relative, and he even branded it cold-blooded. Writing in his memoir Spare, Harry recalls his great-aunt and the late Queen's sister Princess Margaret, or Aunt Margot as he calls her, and claims he didn't know her very well despite sharing 12.5% of her DNA. He writes that on a Christmas Eve at Sandringham Estate, when everyone was getting ready to open their gifts, Margaret gifted him an unusual present, a tiny biro with a rubber fish wrapped around it. He recalls, "Standing before my pile, I chose to open the smallest present first. The tag said, 'From Aunt Margot.' I looked over, called out, 'Thank you, Aunt Margot.' After opening the gift, Harry claims he was surprised and thanked Margaret, who he says pointed out that it was not just any biro, but a special one. Harry adds, 'It wasn't just any biro,' she pointed out. 'It had a tiny rubber fish wrapped around it.' I said, 'Oh, a fish biro, okay,' I told myself. That is cold-blooded." In his book, Harry also adds that growing up he thought he and Margaret should have been friends as they were two spares and had a lot in common. The memoir says, "Her relationship with Granny wasn't an exact analogue of mine with Willie, but pretty close. The simmering rivalry, the intense competition, driven largely by the older sibling, it all looked familiar. Aunt Margot also wasn't that dissimilar from Mummy. Both rebels, both labelled as sirens." Relations between Prince William and Harry have long been strained despite their closeness in their younger years. The fallout is said to have begun before Harry's wedding to former Suits star, the Duchess of Sussex, with the Duke accusing William of being snobbish to his bride. But it worsened after the accusations Harry publicly levelled at his brother in Double Tell-Alls, his memoir, Spare, and his Netflix documentary. In his autobiography, released just months after Elizabeth II died, Harry accused William of physically attacking him and pushing him into a dog bowl in a row over Meghan. Harry and Meghan, in their Netflix series 2 months after the Queen's death, claimed Kensington Palace lied to protect William when it issued a statement denying a story he had bullied Harry out of the royal family. Harry also wrote of how Charles pleaded with his 2 sons during a tense meeting at Windsor just after the funeral of Prince Philip, the late Duke of Edinburgh, saying, "Please, boys, don't make my final years a misery."